launches into the sky because it would have been jumping probably about 4 feet to clear it. It's now gone 12. And goes woo, and straight back down. You know what? It's technically taking 1d6 bludgeoning damage. What I'm going to do, though, because everyone's finally got their own characters, I'm going to let them do a little bit of an introduction of their character itself again, because last time we had 12 characters, now we've got one each, plus one in a coma. But we'll introduce the one in the coma later, I think, maybe if they ever come round. So I think let's start with you, Iris, with Belladonna. And then we'll go to Bree.
Okay, my character is Belladonna Poride. She is a rabbit folk wizard who, in her past, in an attempt to make a deal to gain more power, accidentally made a bet with a devil. An impossible bet that she can never hope to win. And her current goal is to win this bet by any means necessary. For if she wins, she gains all of that devil's power.
That's amazing. And what would you say her fatal flaw is? Because I will be giving inspiration to anyone going along with their fatal flaw.
Her fatal flaw is she has the absolute need to be right about everything. It's like this weird compulsive need with her. She cannot stand being wrong.
Okay. And
which is exactly what led her to make the bet in the first place.
I think that fits. That fits very nicely. Yeah, that's gonna be really good. Right. Let us go over to Bree's character.
Hey, who's that over there?
Hey, not so loud. Yeah, I'd be careful around that one.
Oh, is that the one you've been telling us the stories about? The one who never speaks?
Yeah, that's the one. You know what happens to people who get on their wrong side.
You know, it's not true. That I never speak. What? Never heard your own voice?
Would this make you feel a bit better?
Or this?
Hey, don't stare. They're looking right at us.
And I've got to say, perfect timing on that turn. That was amazing. Please mark down inspiration for setting that up before the stream today. They were making a lot of money from the reputation of this place as having a dungeon that can't be beat, and they were not very happy to hear that you'd beaten it. So they were very much about to kill you all. But, and this is going to sound very silly, you picked up a box, threw it in the air, yelled a special word, and it turned into a boat. And the boat landed on all of the villagers and crushed them to death. So with that village completely emptied, you decided to move on. You know, you probably earned the title Boat Murdered faster than the Dwarf Fortress Let's Play of the same name. So you moved on, and you spent a few days walking, doing, you know, hedge villainry. And then you come across an old castle, a keep of sorts on the borderlands. And there you can hear the wonderful sounds of festivities and merrymaking and all sorts of happiness going on. And to be quite honest, that won't stand. So you're coming up to I suppose the castle town of Dragonlance. And that name, you know, it's brand new. Please don't steal. And there's all these banners out, and it appears to be some sort of autumn festival is going on. And people welcome you in. You know, they see you on the road, and they're like, "Oh, come on in, come on in! It's the famous, you know, it's the famous Dragonlance festival. Here we have great livestock. We've got great drink, great food, and there's a competition to win a magic item."
What type of competition?
Well, all sorts of fun games at the fair. You're going to get little tokens for when you win them, and the one with the most tokens gets the prize.
That does sound intriguing.
Oh yeah. Loads of people come around every year for it. Can I interest you in anything?
Actually, I do want to know what the prize is going to be.
Oh, it's a ring. I don't know much about the ring, but I know it's a ring. I know it's shiny, and someone said it was magical.
I suppose I should also ask, what festival do we have here?
So every autumn, we all get together in the castle. We bring all of our best livestock, all of our humorously shaped vegetables, all our big pies, everything, and we do all sorts of competitions. You know, we do pie eating competitions, humorous vegetable eating competitions, livestock eating competitions. We do everything. Really, there's a lot of eating going on, I suppose. People don't eat that much outside of this festival. Harvest's not been great. And in fact, it's all here. And maybe, I've heard people say, not a good idea to eat all in one festival. You'll all starve in the winter. But that's what we do. We just enjoy it. It's just the way we go, okay? But, you go in there, you eat a load of things. There's axe throwing. I saw one person trying to ride a sheep. They weren't allowed to, but they did. It's a great time. It's a great time. Can you tell I've not been allowed in? Is that obvious? Oh.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed in. I got to guard the gates in case anyone comes and tries to steal the prize marrow again.
The prize marrow?
Oh, it's huge. Fucking huge, mate. You would not believe it. Like, you would see that and you think that's a house. But no. It's just a really big marrow. Fans of the marrow, they come here every year. They've described themselves as being off their gourd the moment they saw it. You get that little marrow joke there? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Little winter vegetable joke? We're a lark here. We work hard, but we play hard.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people who'd pay to see it, but those are only fans.
This is the suitable for work content that OnlyFans is going to have going forwards. Massive marrows. Wait. Probably had that already.
But in
Even though
that
I'm
case,
staying quiet, no comment.
in that case, we should probably head in and see what everything's all about.
All right, let me get the map for my own personal amusement because there are no maps available. Okay, so you enter in via what I'm going to call Gate 1, and there is a long road ahead of you. And on either side of the road, there are all sorts of stalls and shops. And it goes on about a mile, and you can see the castle in the distance. So you're sort of inside the outer wall at the moment, and then there's the keep itself in the middle. So on your right, there's sort of rows and rows and rows of stalls. It looks like to be selling, the sort of thing you might expect to see at like a Christmas market, like the roast nuts. There's someone doing pancakes. There's always someone doing pancakes. I don't know why they're not a Christmas food, but it's still there. There's what I can only describe as a very peristerian sort of chap with a big handlebar moustache, and he is cooking frankly massive sausages. There's an artificer setting up something unusual, which has a lot of pipework around it. And then over to your left as you come in, though, it's a little more open. There's a lot more fields. There's a lot more pasture there, and there's fences. And there's a lot of people in like weird suits. They're kind of like a dinner jacket sort of thing, but they're bright blue. And each one of them has a rosette pinned to them, and they're walking around and they're looking at all of the animals very, very closely, using a clipboard to make notes. And then further on in the distance, there's a small lake. There's a sign that says "Lost Children Here," and then a number of larger buildings on the way to the castle that are about half a mile away. Where would you like to go?
Yeah. I personally would like to see some of the competitions that are going on.
Okay.
The ones we win the points.
So they seem to be further on in the distance. So about half a mile down, you'll get past the Lost Child stand, And then there's a number of rings, sort of, just open fenced areas. And there are people doing this. At the very least, there's axe tossing. Someone is apparently setting up show jumping, but they've not started that yet. If you want to give that a go, that could be another character death. Someone is painting up a sign at the moment for the best flower show. Basically, you make a bouquet out of things. There's a big drinking competition warming up at the bars, which are sort of open bars. You know, the kind that kind of look like they kind of look like carts that have just been stopped there and then flipped open, and someone's selling beer from there.
I want to check out that drinking competition.
Drinking competition. Okay, well, very easy to see them because they're all laughing raucously as you approach. And they're like, step right up. Who wants to give it a go? All you've got to do is have an iron stomach. An iron stomach, I tell you. Welcome, 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 as you must drink. And he points at a man who's currently downing a flagon of something. The Iron Johnson Special Brew. It's stout. It'll put the wind up ya.
Whoever this Iron Johnson person is, sounds like a swell man.
Yeah, probably a great person. Just a true delight. I'm so glad they're still alive, definitely.
So the competition is we just got to drink?
Oh yeah, you just got to drink. Now, we'll start you on something easy, baby's first lager. It's going to be easy. It's the stuff we feed to the kids. And by that I mean the baby goats. I don't know why he's almost going mafia. Like, hey man, gotta come in. We'll give you some drinks. No. So he's like, hey, step. I can't do any other voice now, and I can't even do this voice. So, So he says, we'll start you on something small, something nice and easy. You get through each stage, we give you something harder, something bigger, something more alcoholic, and you got to just walk away without falling over.
Without falling over?
Without falling over. That's all you got to do. Costs you 1 silver piece to enter.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. And how about you? And he points straight at you, and he's holding an empty flagon at the moment, and like, you fancy joining?
Okay, so the mime just sort of flips a silver coin in the air and gestures with it.
Don't talk much, do you? We have your type a lot, and again, I have no idea what this accent is doing. We had a guy like that by the name of Gordon Freeman. Didn't talk much. And then this kid came in as well, named Link. Okay, so basically, what I want you both to do is roll me a constitution check as you drink what is essentially water, the first one.
Wrong dice.
Yeah, so because I've got a bad Hollywood mobster movie accent, this guy is retroactively a city dwarf.
Constitution, you said?
Yes, Constitution saving throw.
That is a 16.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh. Okay, well 16's great. Don't worry about that, but...
And the mime has rolled a 4.
A 4. Okay, so you both chug this down. It's only a pint. It's not the giant flagons that he's been giving out for the other drinks, and... Belladonna, you're fine. You don't even really feel it. Like, there's not a huge amount of alcohol content in this. This is so... In medieval times, kids and all that would drink ale a lot because it was safer than the water. But it's not very alcoholic at all, and this is very much like that. So it's like 1%, 2%, so you're not really feeling it at all. Unfortunately, our dear mime has just collapsed. Just straight off the bar stool. Maybe someone cheated, or maybe you just can't handle your drink. Okay, but the next pint gets served up, and it's a bit stronger. You can smell it. You can already smell it. It's a bit stronger. This is the sort of thing you'd order at a pub after a long day working in the fields. Can I get another Constitution check this time? You know what? I'm going to tell you the DC. The DC for this one is 10. DC for the first one was 5.
Wow. That is 10 on my end.
That's a 10?
Yep.
You're through. I mean, it hits you harder. But it was always going to. And you can feel your head just swirly, just a little bit wibbly, but you're fine. Are you okay to continue?
Yes, but as I'm doing so, I want to look around at some of my competition.
Of course. So, the stall to your immediate right is vacated by the mime you came in with, who I'm going to say has landed like backwards directly on the unconscious form of Nylx, who I'm assuming you've just dropped on the floor next to this stand.
Oh, I assumed I was carrying Nylx around like a backpack.
Oh, okay, so you got Nylx on the back, like Yoda. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So, sorry, even a harder landing there for the mime. I've forgotten the mime's name. Can you tell? And.
Just the mime.
Oh, that's all right then. That's okay. I was worried. So over to the right there. I'm going to say you're on the left-hand side, but then to the right of you is a really big, really sort of like upper body bulk, sort of like extremely muscular, like a wrestler sort of shape. And she's got long blonde ponytails. Looks kind of like. You know, like the sort of the idea of the Furies or Valkyries, that sort of thing. All right, but she looks at you and goes, "Yeah, it's not that hard, but I'm not doing the competition. It's not for me. I'm just here after a long day work rustling cows. You gotta be careful.
Anyone else
they'll kill you.
Is anyone else here actually doing the competition?
There is one person over the side who appears to be about halfway through, and they are sitting like this." Like they're one. I think they're one drink ahead of you, and they're like, they might not last, but you never know. They might get a second wind at the moment. But you are not against anyone for drinking. You are against the drink. You have to get to the end of the series of drinks to win, and you will get a token for winning.
I think you'll find that I am against everybody.
Fair enough. You may mark down inspiration.
In fact, next time he goes to take a drink, I'm going to cast the cantrip Sapping Sting on him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
He'll need to make a Constitution saving throw or take 1d4 necrotic damage and fall prone.
Evil. I love it. Okay, let me do the Constitution saving throw because I'm going to say he's going to go for it now. Okay, he rolled a 13. I'm going to say his Constitution is +1, so 14.
Sadly, he passes, so nothing happens.
Nothing happens at all on a pass. Well, on the plus side, you're not actually against him, so.
Yeah, but I had to try.
You had to try, absolutely. And you can have inspiration for that. So the next drink comes along, and this one's in a flagon. This is like a 2-liter bastard. It's huge, and it's actually quite weighty to lift up. And it's a really dark. It's essentially 2 liters of stout. This is not how this drink is meant to be served. It is not how it is meant to be consumed. It's far too strong. It's far too big, and it is gonna hurt. I'm going to need a DC 15 Constitution saving throw if you would like to drink it.
DC 15.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 19.
You're through. You polish it off. You take a little bit of time because you don't have to down these, and you're aware of that. So you drink it at a slow pace. It takes you about half an hour, which is still quite fast for 2 liters of stout. And everyone's starting to look at you as if you might do it because they know you've only got 1 drink left, and the other guy's collapsed. So you are the last person doing this challenge at the moment. And the bartender looks kind of impressed. He asks, "Hey, can I get you anything to eat? You know, you want a snack? You want some peanuts? You want some gabagool? Anything like that?"
No, I think I'm fine.
Yeah, no sopa secas, no, cannoli.
No.
Okay. All right, he wipes down the bar because he feels like there's some spillage that's about to happen, and puts down a flagon. It's smaller than the last drink actually, but this thing is so strong you can smell it from about 4 feet away. Like as it's being poured, you can just it assaults your nose. It's almost like sea spray. It's like salt water. There's a strong sort of kind of chlorine-y, kind of ureic smell to it. It is not very pleasant at all. This thing is probably not fit for humanoid consumption, but here we go. And if you would like to drink it, I will need a DC 20 Constitution saving throw.
Oof, that is one hell of a saving throw.
While this is all happening, by the way, the mime's just sort of drunkenly messaging everyone around to say that, well, they're not actually saying they're their best friend, but they're sort of giving their vibe.
I love it.
I had to use that inspiration that you literally just gave me, but I rolled a 19 plus 1, so 20.
You do it. You polish it off. You're actually only the third person to succeed. And the bartender goes, "Hey, we got a champion," and hands you a token. And this token is a brass flower. And he said, "Hey, well done. You keep this. You're in the running now. You're in the running. Who knows? Maybe you'll even win. Huh? If you do, if you become famous, you don't forget old Vinny, eh? You come back. You come back for more."
Oh, don't worry. I don't plan to lose.
I like you. You got moxie, kid. You got moxie. And he wipes down the bar and says, "Yeah, be seeing you again, I'm sure, unless you want another pint."
I think I'm good.
Okay. Where would you like to go next? So you are in the middle currently of what is effectively a field of various showgrounds and rings and that sort of thing. There's axe throwing going on. Someone is apparently doing sword identification. There is an area called warm up, which is odd because it seems to be unusually cold. Like there's ice on the ground there. There's the show jump. I mentioned the show jumping ring, and there's the place where people are doing a sort of floral arrangement. There's a few more competitions though, because someone mentioned eating competitions. It's just they're probably not in this specific area. There is a lake further over, so it might be over that way, or it might be closer to the castle because you're about half a mile out.
I do want to see that warm-up area.
Okay. So you head on over to the warm-up area, and it's oddly cold. And a short looking, I say looking, they're short. They're about 4 foot tall, and and I cannot remember the D&D race, annoyingly, so I'm going to change it on the fly. They are a snow elf. Can anyone remember the D&D race that are like elementals, half elementals? We have one in Guild of Icons.
Genasi?
That's it, Genasi. Okay, it's there's an air Genasi there, and she gestures at you and says, "Are you here?" I'm trying to do a French accent. It's not coming across. Are you here? No, that's not French. Come on. I speak French. Bonjour. Are you here for the warm-up? No.
What is the warm-up?
It's simple. You go in there, you make the ice go away. You get the token. No one's managed it yet. This is not French, but whatever it is, that's their accent.
You know what? Why not?
I'm gonna very quickly just swap to Scottish because it might be easier and offend more people. Okay, get on in there, lass. Take a look. Try and warm it up. Yeah, I can't do accents today. That's the thing. Brain machine is broken. So everyone's gonna speak like this from now on. Okay, so you step inside and you feel immediately cold. Not Constitution saving throw cold, but cold, and it's icy. and there's sort of light snow falling, but it's only directly in this area. And the moment you step inside, it starts to get colder and colder still. What is your plan for trying to warm this area up?
For warming this area up, I think my plan for this is chromatic orb fire.
That'll do. Yeah, that'll do. How much fire damage does chromatic orb do?
3d8.
Nice. What is the material requirement for chromatic orb?
The material component for chromatic orb. I can't cast chromatic orb.
Only reason I remember that is because it's come up in a campaign I've personally been in once. Yeah, you need a diamond.
Yeah.
Maybe you can find a diamond somewhere, though. You can always come back. Or try another spell.
I probably should try to come back. Because none of my other spells are going to warm this area up.
Okay. She lets you back out and says, no luck?
Sadly, nothing.
No one's managed it yet. Maybe you'll be the first. You can always come back. Don't worry about it. Okay. The mime, where would you like to go?
Okay, so the mime steps into the warm-up area.
Mm-hmm.
And they simply pour out a pot of oil, which they just pour on the ground and light it and step out to see what happens. Okay,
so you're creating an environmental incident in the warm-up area. Okay. All right, British Petroleum. So yeah, you set fire to some oil. The warm-up area is about 100 feet by 20 feet in size. It's going to take a lot of oil, but you have warmed up a very small part of the warm-up area.
I mean, if it's an enclosed space and the oil burns for an hour, surely it's going to at least get above freezing eventually.
You know what? I'll allow it. You get a token. How much oil have you got?
Well, every character gets like 2 jars that last in a lantern for an hour, so...
2 jars covering what is 2,000 square feet of ice.
It burned for less long, but...
I will allow it, because I'm going to allow a lot of bullshit in this game. And you get yourself a token. So far on the scores, 1 token each. Who knows what the current maximum is, though, that you've got to beat. From here, by the way, you can also see, because you're a little bit further north now, because you've come slightly off the main path to get to this area. So you've just come off a main junction. You can also see what appears to be a big top back near the entrance, but sort of deeper into the rows of stalls. You can also see a wheel spinning somehow with people and kids in it going, yay! You know, they got flags, they got balloons, they're having a great time. So there's definitely a few more things that are probably hidden at first sight by the row of shops when you came in.
Mm. Speaking of the row of shops, was there anything interesting in any of them?
As you were going past, you could only see, obviously, the closest row of shops. So what you were seeing, there's a lot of food initially. You know, there were like the pancakes, the man with the really big sausage, and there were chestnuts, roasted chestnuts. There were people doing fragrances as well. There was some selling candles, and there was one selling bits of like almost like scrolls, but on them it's pre-written a greeting to someone, for presumably for people who can't write for themselves, but know people who can read. Oh, and some crystals.
We do need crystals. I'm kidding. Okay. I think I should probably head over to the next competition area.
Okay. So the ones around here, there was axe throwing, there was floral bouquet arrangement, and what was the other one? The show jumping as well.
In that case, I'll probably go to the show jumping one.
Are you both taking part in the show jumping?
Yep. as we're doing this, I'm casting Speak with Animals.
Excellent. Okay, so a hale and hearty old man walks over and goes, "Good day. Have you brought your own horse?"
We're just here to watch currently.
Oh, well, very good. And the show jumping ring is set up almost a bit like an obstacle course, but not really. It rather reminds you of the Grave of Ouchies to some extent. There are jumps that people have to go over. There are beams that people have to duck under while on their horses. There's something that spins around and tries to knock people off as they go past, and then they come back around, they do a few jumps, they go over a pit, and right at the end, they go for a bit of water and come out the other side and finished. All you've got to do is get your horse from one end to the other. No one's making it really past the pit. The pit is very long. A lot of the horses fall in there, and then no one seems to come back out, which is a little worrying, but I'm sure they're fine.
I want to make my way to talk to someone who seems to have their own horse.
Okay. There's a couple of people sort of standing around. They're, grooming the horses. They're feeding them. They're doing a pre-ride pep talk, that sort of thing. And one of them looks at you in a very stupid hat and says, can I help you?
Yes. We're just taking a look around, seeing what type of people are competing today.
Mostly humanoids.
Are you one of the competitors?
Oh, yes. And she extends a hand, and you have to bend down a bit, and she goes, Eldon Dimblecheeks. I'm named after I'm named after that one.
Yeah, this is such an interesting competition. Although, honestly, I'm glad I'm not the one competing. I'd really fear that pit at the end.
Oh, it'll be fine.
I've been watching this one for a little bit. I don't think I've seen any of the competitors who fell into the pit. After they've fallen, they just seem to vanish.
Yeah, it's weird that. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, I'm up next, so wish me luck. And she hops onto her horse, which is a pony, because she is a gnome. And
as she's about to go on, I step up and I whisper to her, "What if I can guarantee you could be the first winner today?"
She looks at you like, go on.
I don't care about the competition, only the tokens. But I can guarantee you make that jump at the end.
Okay. How?
Let's just say I'm gifted in many ways. I can give your horse exactly the dexterity it needs, probably a bit more.
Okay. Sounds great. Let's do it. And
all I need, I put my hand, all I need is the token at the end. Meanwhile, you'll get the fame and prestige of being one of the best horse riders in the area.
You know what? Roll me persuasion.
Persuasion.
While this is happening, I use a message to send a message to the the pony, just to... Obviously, it's not actual words, but it's just like a general vibe of, So what's your rider like?
15.
15 is enough. And you get a message back that says, oh, she's lovely. She's very neighborly. And Eldon Dimblecheeks, not related to Eldon Dimblecheeks, kicks, spurs into the pony and shouts, "You've got a deal," as they race off. And
as they're racing off, I cast jump on the horse.
You cast jump on the horse. Okay. So the pony rears off, gets to the first jump, launches into the sky.
Jump only triples the jump distance.
Launches into the sky because it would have been jumping probably about 4 feet to clear it. It's now gone 12. And goes woo, and straight back down. You know what? It's technically taking 1d6 bludgeoning damage. So on to the next jump, and this time the horse I think has gotten a better idea of it. Didn't take much damage, so it's still in it and not glue at the moment. So jumping the next one goes over fine, effortlessly. Comes to the duck under the pole, and it's not really a problem, you know? She's a gnome. She didn't even have to duck, to be quite honest. Coming around to the swinging arm that goes overhead, and again, she really doesn't have to move that much. Coming back round, we've got the pit. We have the pit, and she digs the spurs in, and the horse leaps and clears it. And there is shock from the stands, and shock from Eldin, who, as she goes over, has looked down into the pit. And she turns completely white, and before hitting the water, falls off of her horse. And the horse continues on to the end. So what would you like to do?
I cast message to the horse saying, "What'd you see?"
And you get, I was almost going to try and do this in a horse sort of thing, but I've realized trying to do like a long O as a horse is going to make me sound like the Count. Blood! A lot of blood. A lot of dead horses and people in that pit.
Is the horse declared the winner?
Yes. Horse is the winner.
And what happened to what's going on with the rider?
Rider's just collapsed on the ground at the moment. There's a few people sort of looking over and going, ooh, but no one's letting anyone onto the field to actually see to her at the moment. They're just waiting and watching.
The mime hops over the fence to go and pick her up.
You hop the fence. Can you roll me initiative, please?
Oh dear.
As Free, kind of bored looking, initially grunts with clubs have now moved over towards you. Huggish, I would say. Okay, and Belladonna, are you joining this combat? Or are you going to watch? You're going to watch? Okay, that's fine.
Although I am watching, I am going to roll initiative as well.
Yep, that's fine. I'm just going to grab my pen. Okay, so it's going to be
10.
Mime.
Wait, no. Sorry. 13.
13. Okay, Mime. Dog 1. Dog 2. Belladonna. Dog 3. Okay, so Mime, you're up first.
I am going to cast Sleep with my last first spell slots.
Cast Sleep. All right, go for it. So with Sleep, you roll 4d8, and then subtract it from the hit points of the enemies you're facing. So roll me 4d8, and I'll let you know how many fall asleep.
You can tell I don't normally play spellcasters.
Honestly, who owns the D8?
I need them a lot as a DM. 8. What was the number, sorry?
16.
16. I'm afraid none of them fall asleep.
Okay. I just sort of do the whole sort of invisible wall mime thing.
Okay. So they're going to pause at that, I think, and be a little bit confused, but I don't think that's going to stop the second one. The first one's going to stop, but the second one's going to come at you and is going to attack you with their club. So I'm assuming a 6 doesn't hit.
No.
Okay, over to Bella.
Okay, give me a moment. I need to look something up. I think for the third one, while I'm still in the stands and relatively hidden, I am going to cast Sapping Sting.
Sapping Sting, go for it. It's Constitution save, right? If I remember.
Yes.
Okay. They got a 14. God, isn't that the same one as the bartender got?
Yep, and that's exactly what they need.
That's unfortunate.
In that case, nothing happens.
Okay. The third thug comes over and is also going to try and hit you with a club. Fucking rolls. Okay, 7 doesn't hit. Over to the mime.
Yeah, the clubs keep bouncing off the invisible wall.
Yeah, just dong.
So I'm going. Well, I'm just going to look the one that paused for a minute in the eye, and just sort of give the nod that sort of gives the impression of, yep, very wise of you. And then for the first one that tried to hit me, I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay. Very nice. So, is that a save or is that a attack roll? I think it's a save, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a save. And basically the folk hears in their head, in their own voice. Okay, interesting club you've got here.
Terrible, I love it. All right. Wisdom save. That's a 3. So, that's failed.
Yeah, Charisma is my casting ability, so I'm going to... Well, it's more than 3.
Yeah, it's going to be more than 3. Your DC bare minimum is going to be 10.
Plus, well, it's just going to be... Is it just 10 plus my... Wait, it's 10 plus my charisma modifier plus something else, isn't it?
8 plus your charisma modifier plus your proficiency. But proficiency's 2, which I added in, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to...
Yeah, how much damage?
Get my d4 out. Okay. That's 2 points of damage, and it has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
That's great, because it's about to do that. Let's see. I mean, they've all failed so far. That wall is ridiculous. Okay, does an 11 hit?
Nope.
God damn it. Oh, and that would have been a disadvantage as well, so even worse. Natural 1, yeah. Okay, over to the next thug. Oh, okay, that one hits. That's a natural 20. Let me roll a ridiculous amount of damage. That is going to be 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yep, so 7 damage. I'm at 1 hit point.
1 hit point. Okay. Scary times at level 1. Okay, it's over to Belladonna.
The third thug, who should be coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to do something a bit less nice, but from the general cover of the stands, I'm going to cast Mind Sliver.
Mind Sliver. Okay. I love Mind Sliver. Tell me how it works.
They have to succeed on an intelligence saving throw, or take 1d6 psychic damage and subtract a d4 from the next saving throw it makes.
Okay, let me pop that saving throw. That's a 7.
Yeah, that does not succeed. For this, do I also add my spell attack bonus to the damage?
Not usually. I don't think
in which
any
case
spells.
Then what's the point of the spell attack bonus?
That's for if you're doing an attack roll like Firebolt or something. It's for your 2 hit.
Okay, then in that case, that is 3 damage.
3 damage, very nice. Okay.
Psychic damage.
3 psychic damage, and that is 1 bloodied thug.
Yeah, and they're going to take 4 off their next saving throw.
4 off the next saving throw. Okay, I'll make sure I'll put a note there. Otherwise, I'll forget. All right, and it's over to them, and I think they're going to go for you, Bella. The other 2 are reasonably engaged with the mime, who's not looking great anyway, so you're now a reasonable target. That club's coming out, and they're like spinning it as they're coming up towards you, bringing it down overhead. Oh, that...
Is there not a fence between the 2 of us?
You know what? There is, isn't there? Yeah. Can they get to you in time? I think they probably can reasonably do that with 30 feet of movement. Yeah. But I'm gonna say... Oh, no, that's a 19 to hit. That probably does hit. On the plus side, it's not a crit.
Oh, yeah, that does hit.
So, oops, wrong thing for damage. So you will take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. And we go to the mime, who is at death's door.
Okay, how far away is the pit?
The pit is about 20 feet from you.
Okay, I'm going to move over to the edge of the pit, and I'm just going to sort of
Are you disengaging first?
yeah, good point. Yeah, I'm going to take an action to disengage.
Okay.
I'm going to move to the pit, and I'm just going to sort of climb just down the edge.
All right, that sounds great. Yeah, you do that. So when as you're climbing down the pit, though, you see there's a lot of blood down there, and for some reason, there are spikes in this pit, and a lot of dead horses and people.
I'm just going to sort of position myself so they have to lean down to actually try and take a swing at me.
Okay. Well, one of them is going to approach and give it a go. I think the other one might go towards Bella, assuming that you're pretty much in a precarious situation as it is. But the first one is going to come up to you and is going to try and swing down onto you. I'm going to say you're probably pretty hard to hit here. Like, they've got to hit either your hands or your head. And I think probably you've got 3/4 cover, so a +5 to AC.
Okay.
And that is a... what's the modifier? That is an 11.
Nope. Doesn't hit.
What am I saying? Almost killed the mime, damn. Okay, can't hit you. The second one is going to move over to Bella and is going to try and strike you. And they should have all been at an advantage, apparently, but that ain't happened. No. That is a 7 to hit.
That does not hit, no.
Yeah, it turns out this stat block has pack tactics, and I did not know that. Over to you, Bella.
I'm going to disengage.
Okay.
Around me, are there any, like, vertical areas I can climb up?
There's the stables. You could probably get up there. With some agitated looking horses in it. There are a bit further away, so you'd have to get over the road. There are a couple of sort of tents that you could get onto, probably, if you're careful and position your weight well.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my way all the way to the stable. About how high are the stables?
Stables are about 20 feet up.
Yeah, so I'm going to disengage and make my way to the stables.
Okay.
And start making my way up. How high you said?
20 feet. It's high to get all the farts away.
Give me a moment. I actually need to look up the rules for jumping.
It is your strength score plus or times. I forget. I did that a while back. 3 plus your strength modifier, feet, plus your height. You can make an athletics check to jump higher than normal.
3 plus my strength modifier plus my height.
You might be able to find some handholds if you want to try scrabbling up there. I'll take an athletics check if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll try scrabbling up.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
That is... Where's my athletics? That is a 22.
That's enough, yeah. You pull yourself up really quick. So fast, in fact, I'm going to say that you've not, spent twice the cost of your movement to get up there as you normally would with climbing. So, you're all the way up there. And you're all the way up at the top. And the other thugs, the thugs on the ground are looking up you like...
You said the horses in the stables were agitated, right?
They are.
I'm going to agitate them further. I'm going to use whatever movement I have left to stomp up and down in place to agitate the horse.
Okay. Roll me a performance check. Yeah. Or intimidation. I mean, it's the same stats most of the way, but...
I mean, yeah, but I have proficiency in one of those. That's an 18.
Okay, so you're basically doing river dance on the roof, and the horses are not happy, and they bolt from the stables just as the thugs are coming up to it. And they are going to take some damage. Right. That's a high roll. I rolled 3d6 for the damage, and I've rolled 3 6s, so that's unusual. They take 18 points of bludgeoning damage each, and they both die.
A tragic horse accident.
Yep, tragic horse accident. Those horses are bolting though, and they're still going. They're not going towards the pit, thankfully, but they're heading off. They're going into the crowd, and I'm sure some other members of the public will be taking 18 points of bludgeoning damage in a bit. Okay, we go over to Thug. No, we don't actually. We go over to the mime.
Okay, well, it's pretty obvious what I was planning here. I just climb back a little way back up and try to pull the bug who took a swing at me back into the pit.
Okay, I'm going to take this as almost like a reverse shove. So roll me athletics.
Okay.
And that's going to be contested by, I'm going to say, their acrobatics. Which is actually the worst of the two, but I'm going to say they're trying to dive away as opposed to, like, just out-strengthen you with their feet.
Okay, I actually have a penalty to strength, so this is going to be interesting. Take. Okay, that's.
You don't need to worry.
Wow, you might be surprised. That's. Would strength 5 be a. No, wait, efficiency.
Is it higher than 1?
Yes.
That's why I said you don't need to worry. We're looking at a natural 1 and a +0 to dexterity. He's going in the pit, and immediately is going to be taking... Hang on, let me see. Adding up this is going to be a pain. Enough bludgeoning damage to die.
Yeah, the mime just sort of looks down towards their head and just watches to see what happens.
Yeah, they get essentially impaled through their chest. If you've seen the remake of the Tomb Raider games, you probably know the sort of image that I'm trying to give you here. It is painful, and they die slowly and in a lot of pain. As I said, painful. But back to the happy music, because you've survived, and there is a very pale-looking gnome on the ground who still hasn't... They've sort of come to a little bit, but they're just looking a bit dazed, a bit confused. They've sat up, though, and they see you climb out of the pit, and they immediately faint again. Because someone who is pale as death has just climbed out of the death pit. And clearly it's undead, so they've just passed out again. And yeah, I will say, is anyone looting the bodies? I mean, obviously not the one in the pit. You probably can't reach that one, but
no. In the panic and confusion, I'm going to make my way over to the gnome's horse, the winning horse, and start leading it towards the judges, so I could, claiming to be the sponsor of the person, claim the reward.
Okay. The judges are dead, having been hit by horses on the way out of a stable, and the other judge is dead in the pit.
Does the judge have a coin on him?
Yeah, unconscious gnome, by the way.
Well, first, I'll deal with the judges' bodies. Yeah, there are 4 tokens on one of the judges' bodies. One of the thugs that died under a horse is holding a small number of tokens. 4 of them. You have 4 more tokens, Iris. It's up to you whether you share them. And the mime. What were you saying about the gnome?
The gnome while they're unconscious.
You're looting the gnome. Okay, sure. You find 25 silver pieces. You find 2 tokens, because the gnome had done 2 other competitions. And you find a small scrap of paper on which what appears to be a poorly written love poem.
Can I tell anything particularly interesting about the poem?
Sure. Roll me a performance check. And this is more your understanding of art, basically. This is a art history check for using performance.
While they're attempting to understand the poem.
Is that based off charisma?
Yes, charisma.
Okay.
I'm taking the pony with me out, and I'm immediately going to look for somebody who wants to buy the only winning pony from the horse show.
Okay, yeah. There's a couple of people interested actually, because holy shit, did you see how far and high that thing jumped? Amazing.
I'm sure it was a tragedy, but I'm sure there are some other people around who'd be interested in.
Oh, absolutely. This is an event where there's a lot of animal agriculture and agricultural buying and selling going on. Like people are here doing deals over sheep all the time, horses all the time. And yeah, there are definitely some people interested. Like there were a lot of people looking at this as a way of telling like which ones to buy, which ones to use as sire stock essentially. So yeah, a couple of people come over. There's a young red-headed elf. There is an old human. And there's also a dwarf who looks sort of middle-aged. Give you the full spectrum there.
Since there are multiple buyers, I say I'm going to have like a very small auction. The standard go-to price for a pony is 30 gold, so I'll start there.
Okay. I want you to roll me... No, you know what? We're going to do this as a skill challenge instead. You're going to have to do a number of checks to keep them interested and keep the number going higher. The more you do, the higher the number, basically. But we will start at 30, and I think that's perfectly reasonable with everything you've done already to give you one success already. So everyone tries to bid on that, and the price goes up to 40 gold pieces. But then the momentum starts to die down a bit, and you get the feeling that you need to keep things going. You need to keep them into it.
Okay. I am probably going to imply that this pony did come from the local lords. It's part of their stock, basically, and that's where I got it.
Okay, roll me deception, please.
Deception is something I'm good at. 14.
14's enough. A second success, and they start bidding again. They start muttering like, "Ooh, good stock, good stock. You know they're going to be good stock if it's a noble's horse. Oh, could mean we can get some good money from their young." And yeah, money's going up and up and up and up. You are now at 50 gold pieces. And once again, though, it starts to lull as people are like, "Yeah, but is it enough? Is it worth that much to go any further?"
I actually need to check something about the spell jump real quick.
Okay. What are you doing at the moment, the mime?
Oh, I rolled a 17 on that check.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's enough to know that it's not plagiarized or anything. It's all right. The rhyming is a little shaky. It's not exactly correct, but it's mostly there. It's mostly decent. It looks like it's sort of been hastily written, though. One thing you do notice at the bottom is that it has the name Eldon Dimblecheeks on it, so it's probably written by her. As to why, you don't know yet. Okay, back to Belladonna's current impromptu animal auction.
You know what? No, I think 50 gold is a good price.
Okay. All right. So they stop bidding, and I'm going to say you know what, I'm going to roll for who wins. The dwarf wins. So she hurries up and she grabs the pony, and she says, thank you, perfect. Hands you 50 gold pieces, and walks off to an area designated as animal enclosures, essentially for people's, things they've bought and all that, to be stored in a safe location. Lovely.
Okay.
You have stolen and sold a horse, and then stolen a poem from the same person.
The mime is so going to say they wrote it.
Okay. The mime's not going to say anything, presumably.